Bye. So today is the appearance day of Srivasa Thakur.
Can you speak a little bit louder?
Yeah. So today is the appearance day of Srivasa Thakur. And I was not going to speak about his whole life and so on, which he probably spoke about in the morning. I wanted to, as I said, actually read the translation of 13 songs which were written by Thakur. He wrote, of course, hundreds and probably thousands of Bengali songs, and he wrote whole songbooks. And one songbook is called the Gitamala, which has something like 90 songs that he wrote. And one of the, I think it was divided into 5 sections. One of the sections of set of songs is called Shoka Satana, the dispelling of all grief. And this particular set of songs is about Srivasa Thakur. Once it happened so, I mean, just to speak generally, Lalitanatha, he started his kirtan movement in the house of Srivasa Thakur. Srivasa Thakur was actually an older Vaishnava. He was the same age as Lalitanatha's father, and he was the greatest devotee in Navadvip in those days. And so Lalitanatha, when he revealed himself as the greatest devotee, of course actually he's Krishna himself, but people as the greatest devotee, then at first he started having kirtan, nightly kirtans in the house of Srivasa Thakur, which also happened spontaneously, just one day, Lalitanatha said, we are sleeping the whole, spending the whole night simply sleeping. It's just a waste of time. Why don't we instead have kirtan the whole night? So then they decided, why should we sleep? Let's just have kirtan, and then the intimate devotees, it was only pure devotees who knew no other shelter than Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. They were allowed to take part, not others. And with these devotees, dozens of pure devotees like that, there were intimate kirtans behind locked doors the whole night through in the house of Srivasa Thakur. And then actually, one night, it happened that one of Srivasa Thakur's sons died. So that was what we expected to be, a great shock and loss for Srivasa Thakur. But actually, this is actually what this song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur is about. It's about what happens when Srivasa Thakur's son died. And so I thought I wanted to just, read the whole thing, and I hope we can finish it in before 7. I will not read the Bengali because it will take too long. If someone knew I heard Krishna etc. once, he sang all the 13 songs, sang them with translation and explanation like that, and maybe that it was taped. I think it was during the time of tapes. Maybe those tapes are available somewhere they might still be available. Otherwise, here in this translation, we start with song number 1. What is that called? Song. It's called Pradosa Samaya Srivasa Agani. So, first as Bengali. And here's translation. In the evening twilight, within the privacy of Srivasa Pandit's courtyard, the cream-lustered dual Lord Gauramani raised a most auspicious vibration by his chanting of Hari Kirtan, which he personally accompanied by dancing in various playful moods, accompanied by the playing of the Vedanga drum and kartals. And amidst occasional victorious shouts of Jai, Jai, the dramatic dance of the Lord dispelled the grief of all those who witnessed it. Then becoming madly intoxicated in supreme ecstatic love, all the assembled devotees completely forgot themselves and incessantly began to dance and chant wildly surrounding Lord Gaura Chandra. At this time, within the inner chamber of Srivasa's house, one of his sons suddenly died due to some disease, as ordained by the will of Providence. Due to separation from the boy, all the women of the household began to lament and cry out in a loud voice. Now Bhaktivinoda fears that the transcendental mellows of the Lord's Kirtan will be disturbed by the uprising of such loud crying sounds. However, Srivasa Pandit has now understood the cause of this sound and has personally entered the house. So that was the first song. Song number 2 is called Pravesiya Antapuri. And so here. Entering the inner chamber, Srivasa began to pacify all the women there by giving them spiritual instruction that were as sweet as nectar. He said, "Look here, you crazy ladies, you all lament uselessly. For what kind of unhappiness can there possibly be in ecstatic love of Krishna? Whoever has Krishna for his eternal son never has to lament for anything, although if one becomes attached to that which is temporary, then everything is lost. You have all come into this material world for the purpose of worshipping Krishna, so now you should all become situated again in the eternal absolute truth. As long as you are existing in this body, you should all cultivate love and attachment for Lord Krishna, knowing him to be your real wealth, real friend, and your very life and soul. all of the followers of this body, namely brothers, friends, husbands and sons, should be accepted as being only temporary relationships. Whoever wants to hold on to husbands or sons will not be able to keep them, for all these relationships are only temporary. Even if your son is sitting in your very lap, you still cannot protect him, for when his bad fruitary actions fructify, then his present karma is finished and he will not be able to remain here any longer. By accepting this type of temporary happiness and distress, many other living entities are now being degraded into lower species of life, falling far, far away from Krishna's lotus feet. Therefore you should all give up your temporary lamentation right now and just become absorbed in the bliss of the Lord's holy names. All of Bhaktinu's desires are now being fulfilled by hearing the Srivasa speak such nice eternal truths. Song number 3, Dana Jana Deha. Offering all of your wealth, relatives, body and entire household unto Krishna in dedication, just remember him always with a purified heart. So then why are you exclaiming, my son, in great sadness? Krishna has simply taken his own devotee just to suit his own happiness. Krishna is causing all things to take place just according to his own sweet will. In light of that, all your ideas of happiness and distress are simply ignorant mental concoctions. Whatever Krishna's desire is, you must accept only that as actually good. Renouncing all of your separate personal desires, relieve yourselves of this unnecessary botheration. Krishna gives you everything, Krishna takes everything away. Krishna maintains everyone or kills everyone whenever he likes according to his own sweet will. If someone maintains some desire that is contrary to Krishna's desire, then her wish does not become fruitful. Indeed, she only gets trouble and anguish. Therefore, rejecting all of your lamentation, just listen to the chanting of Krishna's holy name, which is going on now out in the courtyard. From this, you'll get the topmost transcendental bliss, and all of your desires will be fulfilled. Thus, Bhaktivinoda begs at Srivasa Pandit's lotus feet for the power to completely surrender his soul to Krishna in life or in death. That's song number 3. Song number 4. It's called Sabu Meli Balaka Bhaga. Srivasa continued, all of you together should consider the real fate of the boy, and you should immediately discontinue any bewilderment and grief that may be in your disturbed hearts. The Supreme Lord of all the 14 worlds is a youthful son of Nanda Maharaj, and now he has become the son of Mother Sachi by personally descending in Nadia. This very same Gokul Chanda is now dancing in my courtyard with his most confidential devotees, all completely overwhelmed with ecstatic bliss. My boy has given up his body while hearing the singing of the Lord's holy names coming from the kirtan out in the courtyard. Therefore his servant has died while overwhelmed with love for the Lord. If I would be so fortunate as to get such an auspicious death as this, then I will certainly be able to cross easily over the ocean of material existence. All of you together just consider this one judgment. What will your lamentation and disturbed hearts do to help the situation? If you all do not become pacified by these instructions, then you will only cheat yourselves out of tasting transcendental ecstatic mellows in the long run. Not only will you cheat yourself, but you will induce me to leave this world by plunging myself into the waters of the Ganga. Thus, Bhaktivinoda is witnessing this entire calamity in progress. That was number 4. Song number 5 is called Srivasa Vachana Shravana Korea. Hearing these words of Srivasa Pandit, All those chaste and faithful ladies gave up their lamentation for the dead son, because Srivasa had satisfied their minds by informing them of the transcendental wills of Lord Hari. Then Srivasa again came out into the courtyard, and overwhelmed with joy, resumed dancing with Lord Chaitanya, and loudly sang the glories of the son of Lalitanatha, completely forgetting about what had just happened. The boy had expired only 1.5 hours after dark, but out in the courtyard no one had known anything due to the loud kirtan. Then for 9 hours there was continuous chanting of the auspicious holy names. Thus the entire night had elapsed in this ecstatic singing. Then the kirtan stopped, and Lord Gaura Hari said, "Why am I feeling some unhappiness today? I can understand that something inauspicious has happened in this house, which has robbed me of my bliss." Then the devotees related to the Lord the story of the death of Srivasa's son. Hearing this news, the Lord loudly exclaimed, "Oh no! What has happened? Now the core of my heart has become pierced with so much unbearable pain. Why didn't you inform me of this calamity when it had just happened?" Now Bhaktivinoda has completely lost himself in the affection that the Lord shows to his own devotees. That was Psalm 5. Yeah. That was Psalm number 6. Prabhu Vachana Thakur Suniya. Then, hearing these words of the Lord, Srivasa Pandit began rolling on the ground, crying out, "Please hear me, O Lord. I am simply not able to tolerate any disturbance or interruption of the ecstatic melodies of your kirtan. Only one of my sons has died, O Lord, and has that really made me upset? Even if all of my sons die, then I will certainly get more than enough happiness by seeing you. I will certainly die on the spot if I were to interrupt your dancing, O Lord. That is why I did not inform you of this bad news, for I was dreading the calamity of disturbing your ecstasy. Lord, if you would kindly grant us your permission now, then we shall all take the boy's body and perform the proper funeral rites." Hearing this much from the mouth of Srivasa Pandit, the jewel of the twice-born Lord Gaura Sundara then broke down and began to weep piteously on the spot. Crying and crying, the Lord thought within himself, "How could I possibly abandon such loving services and go elsewhere by taking sannyas? If I were to do so, my heart would certainly split." In this type of talk, Bhaktivinoda's mind becomes somewhat fearful. Psalm number 7. Gaura Chanda Agya Pe. Then the Lord ordered the household members to bring the boy's body out into the courtyard, and they immediately complied. Then the merciful Lord Gaura, who removes the gloomy, dirty influence of the age of Kali, began to question the body by saying, "Please tell me, my dear boy, whatever prompted you to leave here so suddenly, thus giving up your loving father, Srivasa Pandit?" Being thus questioned by the Lord, the soul again manifested in the dead body by the mercy of the Lord, and he began to offer very nice prayers which were meant to be instructive to all persons. The dead boy said, "My dear Lord, you are without a doubt the supreme absolute truth, unlimited and one without a second. Since you are the supremely energetic, all of your transcendental energy